Hi there, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Adventure Rider. Today we're really excited to introduce not only a fantastic new product to you, but a new brand when it comes to UK adventure motorcycle gear. Scott, you probably have heard of. We certainly had. They are very well known, obviously, in the motocross world, in downhill mountain biking, and so on. But when it comes to their actual adventure clothing, who knew? They've been doing it for a few years over in Europe, but they just haven't had really any presence in the UK. We ran into them at the Adventure Bike Festival last summer and we told them about our plans and thought this was a fantastic opportunity for us to basically announce ourselves together. And Scott as a brand have everything we think we've ever seen from any of the leading brands and more at just stunning price points. If you're looking for your next touring or adventure touring jacket, then this could be just the ticket. So this is their flagship item. This is the Scott Priority Goretex. This is a tri-laminate jacket and it has the accompanying trouser with the same name as well. And in terms of the spec that has relative to the price point at $699 for the jacket, $499 for the trousers in the UK, I'm unaware of anything else that competes with that at that price point that's AA rated Goretex 3L fabric. So that is to say, this is a waterproof and breathable jacket. This has a laminated waterproof membrane under the outer shell, which means that the water won't penetrate the outer fabric, it will run off. You get a degree of breathability along with that waterproofing element with a Goretex membrane, which is a licensed membrane where you have to pay Goretex, you have to send the garment off, they verify its qualities under testing, and there's a lifetime warranty on that waterproof breathable membrane itself, so there's usually a significant additional cost involved in it. And the tri-laminate membrane itself is the sturdiest, most robust version of that waterproof laminated membrane. And as a result, the jackets that have a 3L or tri-laminate, whichever way you call it, waterproof membrane tend to be pretty stiff. They tend to be the sort that you could hold and drop on the floor and they'd retain their shape. And that's good for keeping water out. But of course, it's not always the most ergonomic and the most comfortable. This doesn't feel anything like a tri-laminate jacket. It feels like a cotton outer, even though it's a very hard-wearing 600 denier polyamide outer with really beautiful leather patches on it. So the leather, for me, giving it something that most adventure jackets don't have, gives it a little bit of style and a little bit of substance over and above just a sort of standard textile affair, which I think looks fantastic. I love the colours as well. This is only available, the Priority, in this one colour, in the sort of grey and black. We have so many features to go through. So this is a jacket that basically works in all conditions. I would say all but really, really hot, active, adventure, proper riding. That is to say, if you are going to Morocco in the hot season, then even with all the vents undone on this jacket and the lining taken out of it, it's probably too hot. You need a mesh jacket. And that's really the sort of exception to what this covers. It does everything else brilliantly. It is so comfortable, so well fitted and tailored. Again, there's none of the sort of boxy adventure fit that we find from a lot of the other brands. This fits really, really neatly. The sizing, by the way, does fit, I would say, a little bit generously. So I'm 6'2", I have a 40 to 41 inch chest, and then a lot of things logic would dictate I should probably be a large. However, in this, I am a medium, so I've gone sort of down a size effectively. So we would say to check our size guide over at adventurerider.co.uk, because even if we find the manufacturer's size guide says something different, we will state that and we will override it and give you our findings so that you can be confident to get that size right first time if you don't have the option of coming in store and trying it on. So I've been using this all through autumn, all through winter. I haven't used it in the hottest weather yet, and this has done so well. Like, as I say, this has kept me completely dry on days of non-stop rain, off-road riding, river crossings, just like massive puddles and bikes in front of me, trying to get me wet deliberately just to wind me up. So this has taken everything that's been thrown at it and it's done it just really quite impressively. So zips, vents, let's kind of start from the top and go through all the features, and I'm sure I'm going to miss something, so do forgive me if I do. This has a really nice little sort of system at the top where you can just bring it in so you can get a nice tight seal once you have the neck done. It has a much softer piece of the inner fabric of the sort of polyester lining, which is padded and very, very comfortable. Another bugbear of mine when it comes to most adventure jackets is when you have the storm flap collars and stuff like that, even just generally normal collars, they tend not to be that soft or comfortable. They're really noticeable, and I just don't like being constantly aware of something scratching away at my neck when you're going along. This is really, really, really comfy and soft, like just having a nice jumper on, and you don't really think about it. It's also just got a really easy clip on the top as well, which is super easy to do with gloves. And if you want to have that open and you want to be going along and you don't want it flapping around, they have thought to put a little strap there so you can tie that back as well, so that's not going to get in the way. All of these zips are waterproof zips. The main zip itself has a double storm flap system, so you've got one layer and you've then got another layer as well, so there really is, and you've got that waterproof zip of course, there really is not going to be any water getting through. As I say, had rain all day at several occasions wearing this jacket, and every single bit of me was dry. It really did perform better than just about anything that I've used in the past. So the nice sort of quality to a lot of the tactile elements of this as well. Things are generally either soft or they're kind of grippy in a way where you'd want them to be, or not where you don't. Every little detail is thought through really nicely. So again, like the popper there, just to tie that back so it doesn't flap around, with a little bit of rubber just so you've got a nice grippy bit, even if you've got wet gloves on or something, to open this little pocket on the front, which inside it has a goggle wipe system. Love little gimmicks like that. Obviously, if that's not something you need, you can get rid of that easily enough. Vents run down either side on that sort of 3/4 section on the chest, and simple, straightforward and easy to operate there, with just the little sort of seal for the storm flap going over the top of the zip so that you're not going to get water in any way getting down inside of that. You've also got the two normal pockets which sit underneath the waterproof layer on the outside, so fairly safe to put stuff that's valuable, but we always recommend you put those things on the inside of the jacket where the least chance of them getting wet is. There's loads of adjustability, so you have rubberized system with a couple of different really nicely put together metal snaps with rubberized tops, again, so there's no chance of rubbing on the bike or anything like that. You've also got some little details that I'm really impressed by. So as we go round, all of the Scott logos are, I would say, understated to the right amount. In our world of adventure, there is a tendency to overbrand things. Some people like that, but I'm personally more of a fan of a bit more understatement, and this is just really nicely done. And it's also just got that high-vis under headlight quality to it. You've got the fact Goretex and D3O, you have to put that on any garment that has it. Here you have the leather panels, which have this really nice crisscross detailing to them. Again, it gives it a really good premium look that you don't tend to see in a lot of the jackets at this price point, or a lot of jackets just don't go to the effort of thinking of these kind of details. It's just about function and less about form. Why not have both? As we go around to the back, big 45-degree exit vents on the upper as well, just to keep the airflow going through on hotter days. And as you can see, a slight drop to the back as well there. This isn't an overly long jacket, it's just the perfect length in my mind. You do have the ability to zip them together. There's a zip that goes all the way around the perimeter on these, so an adjoining zip there. And as we go down inside the main bit of the jacket, you have a full sleeve removable liner, which is absolutely wonderful. It does such a good job, this liner, without feeling in any way over sort of thick. You know, there's no sort of puffiness to it. It's just a really, really nicely put together thing with, thank God, a zip that goes all the way around the outside. I hate it when it's tons of poppers and you have to waste loads of time trying to locate them. A zip is more expensive to do, and that's why you don't see it so much. And they've gone for the zip option here, thankfully. You have a couple of little pockets if you wanted to just put something inside this sort of effective cargo net on the inside. So that extends down the sleeve. It's a slightly lighter weight thickness in the sleeve, just marginally, but again, it's nicely thought through, so there's a bit more dexterity in the arms where you'd need it. And that also has a removable sort of puff collar up here as well, just for that thermal element. So you can take that out independently of the thermal liner itself. And again, just another nicely thought through detail. A couple of zip pockets either side on the main outer shell, so you can keep those things, as I said, really nice and safe there. And you've got that sort of technical layer just to prevent any chafing on the Goretex 3L underside to the main outer jacket. And you can just see poking through there, that's the connector zip, which you can attach to the trousers to make a two-piece. And by the way, the trousers are wonderful. They have all the same features. If you're in the market for just trousers, you do not have to get these as a set. They work wonderfully, just, you know, in their own right, as separate garments as well. So no need to go for the full kit. But if you do want a full kit, I don't really think there's anything better at this price point. The sleeves have a couple of nice features as well. So you get this storm cuff, they call it, which is very soft and your hand just naturally finds it. I'm not always a fan of those because as someone with slightly longer arms, I tend to find that it just pulls on the sort of webbing between your fingers. It is a little bit noticeable. I don't like to think about things like, you know, the clothing. It should just do its job without really you realising it. But these ones are really easy to fold back if you don't want it, but there's so much stretch in them that they're not one of those that fall guilty of just being a little bit too noticeable. You've also got the adjustable adjustment on the Velcro side there, and you have simple zippers with a popper that goes over. Again, all easy to operate with thick winter gloves as well, so there's nothing there that you're going to struggle with. Everything's ergonomic. Everything is where you would expect it to be. The execution of this garment is fantastic. I've been personally, as I say, using this one all winter, and I've just been massively impressed with it. So if you like what you see here, then definitely check out the rest of the Scott range, because they do wonderful stuff across the board in adventure, and they are one of the brands that I think will become a real force in the UK. They just, for various reasons, haven't really had much presence so far, but now is the time, I think, for them to shine. So we would love to know what you guys think about this garment, in particular the Priority Goretex, but also if you've got any questions about the garment that I've missed, any questions about Scott, any opinions on anything that we've mentioned today, always welcome. Leave that down below and we'll get back to you, and stay tuned because there's more stuff from these guys and loads of other brands, as I've said in a couple of videos now, that you will be familiar with, and hopefully, like Scott, some other brands with some products perhaps you haven't seen before, but we really do think are worthy of your attention. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.